Located in western Zimbabwe, Hwange National Park is experiencing one of its harshest periods in decades. The land is dry and cracked, revealing deep and wide fissures caused by prolonged drought. Rising temperatures and hot winds have turned the savanna into a challenging environment, even for wildlife species adapted to arid conditions. The El Niño phenomenon has caused a severe decline in seasonal rainfall, drying up natural waterholes. Wildlife have no choice but to gather around artificial water sources, which are also running low. Elephants, symbols of endurance, are beginning to succumb to thirst and hunger. Some individuals fail to survive, leaving behind haunting scenes on the sun-scorched red sands. Under these conditions, predators such as lions continue to hold dominant positions. Hwange is no longer an ecological haven. It is one of the clearest survival front lines in Africa. Located in northwestern Zimbabwe, Hwange National Park is the country's largest reserve, spanning over 5,640 square miles and bordering Botswana. It lies about 125 miles from Bulawayo and just over 60 miles from Victoria Falls, making it accessible for both tourists and research teams. The park plays a strategic role in the Kavango-Zambezi Transfrontier Conservation Area, allowing wildlife to migrate across Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, Zambia, and Angola, helping maintain ecological balance and genetic diversity. Hwange's geology is diverse, with ancient Kalahari sands covering much of the area, creating its characteristic arid landscape. The northwestern zone features basalt deposits from ancient volcanic activity, while the north-central region contains granite and gneiss formations. Although the terrain is mostly flat, vegetation types vary with soil and moisture, including mopane woodland, semi-deciduous forest, native teak stands, and seasonal grasslands. Hwange's climate is semi-arid tropical, with two distinct seasons. The rainy season lasts from November to March, allowing the ecosystem to recover. The dry season from April to October is harsh. Daytime temperatures often exceed 95 degrees Fahrenheit in October, while winter nights can fall below 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Plants develop deep root systems to reach water. Animals adapt by migrating or gathering around waterholes. These dynamics make Hwange an ideal site for studying the impact of climate and human activity on African ecosystems. Across the park, Main Camp, its largest section in the northeast corner, serves as the administrative center. Covering roughly 4,155 square miles, it functions as a management hub, tourist base, and research site. Built on ancient Kalahari sands, the area features low Mapan woodland and barren grasslands by the end of the dry season. Low rainfall, high temperatures, and low humidity place significant pressure on the ecosystem, shaping the biological behavior of many species. During the dry season, more than 60 water holes pumped from underground aquifers serve as the main lifeline for elephants, buffalo, zebras, kudu, and impalas, and attract predators such as lions, leopards, and hyenas. The Waterhole system, originally powered by diesel, now increasingly solar-powered, helps reduce grazing pressure and maintain ecological order. Main Camp receives around 80% of all park visitors. Most tourists join early morning or late afternoon safari drives or observe from fixed hides. Since 2020, road expansion has been restricted and camera systems have been installed to monitor the effects of tourism on animal behavior. In terms of research, Main Camp functions as a field lab for long-term studies, such as monitoring elephant reproductive cycles, measuring groundwater depletion, and assessing lion predation frequency during extended droughts. These data sets are helping park authorities adjust water management policies, restore seasonal springs, and maintain ecological balance. In the hot, dry savanna northeast of Main Camp, wildebeest stand out not only in numbers, but in their key role within the park's semi-arid ecosystem. Their muscular build, high endurance, and adaptive flexibility allow them to persist year-round under intense heat. From November to April, during the early and late rainy season, fresh grass grows rapidly after the first rains, and wildebeest gather in dense herds. Each group can include hundreds of individuals, spreading across grass fields and artificial waterholes. This concentration helps reduce the chance of predators focusing on a single target. Even a small movement, like a foot stomp or nasal snort, can trigger a reflex in the whole group. They change direction and sprint simultaneously. Their top speed reaches 50 miles per hour, and more importantly, they can sustain long-distance runs. This endurance often causes cheetahs or African wild dogs to miss their targets. Although they do not travel hundreds of miles like those in the Serengeti, Hwange's wildebeest still make short-distance seasonal movements. At the beginning of the rainy season, they move into the moist basaltic zones of main camp, where grass grows rapidly. Toward the end of the dry season, the herds return to areas around pumped waterholes, taking advantage of remaining vegetation. Their main diet consists of soft grasses on open ground. Thousands of hooves pounding the soil help loosen the top layer, spread seeds, and promote grass regeneration, a vital ecological service. Their presence also attracts other species. Oxpecker birds perch on their backs to feed on parasites, while vultures circle above, waiting for opportunities when calves lag behind. Wildebeest activity becomes a biological signal for predator and scavenger layers. The calving season begins when grasslands turn green. Calves are born in groups, stand within minutes, and can run shortly after. But first-year survival rates remain under pressure from predators in dry conditions. Without noise or display, wildebeest represent endurance and adaptability, two core traits for survival in Hwange. In the biological network of Zimbabwe's Savannah, they serve as both primary prey and a driving force that maintains the cycle between grass, predators, and scavengers, ensuring continuity of life on the plains. At the top of the Hwange Savannah food chain, lions represent biological power shaped over hundreds of thousands of generations. Sharing ancestry with leopards, tigers, and snow leopards within the Panthera genus, this large cat is built to survive in semi-arid habitats. A solid skeleton, strong muscles, large lungs, and an efficient circulatory system support its explosive sprinting power. Adult males weigh approximately 420 to 495 pounds, stand over 3.3 feet at the shoulder, and reach body lengths over 6.5 feet. Their thick, dark manes not only protect the neck during conflict, but also serve as visual signals, helping females identify genetic fitness in potential mates. In the first few seconds of a chase, lions can accelerate to 50 miles per hour. Their final pounce uses forelimb strength and body mass to bring down prey. Unlike most of their solitary relatives, lions live in prides of 5 to 20 individuals, sometimes more than 30 when food is abundant. A typical pride includes 2 to 3 resident males, multiple related females, and cubs of various ages. The main camp region, where wildebeest, zebra, and buffalo gather around more than 60 deep-drilled waterholes, provides clear advantages for coordinated hunting. Lionesses carry out nearly 90% of hunts. Groups of 3 to 5 individuals keep low profiles, using mopane thickets and shallow mounds to approach undetected. Once within 100 feet of the target, one lioness reveals her presence to force a directional shift, while the others cut off escape routes. The average success rate is 25%, but a single kill can feed the pride for 3 to 4 days. After a successful ambush, the feeding order reflects the pride's internal hierarchy. Dominant males eat first, followed by adult females, and then the younger lions. This order minimizes internal conflict and ensures that males retain enough energy to defend territorial boundaries. In main camp, each pride ranges across 12 to 25 miles, marked with urine and scratch marks on tree trunks. A male lion's deep roar can travel up to 5 miles, supported by a large chest cavity and specialized vocal ligaments, used both to warn rivals and to gather pride members. Breeding occurs year-round, but peaks during the late rainy season when prey is abundant and new grass is rich in protein. Gestation lasts 93 to 113 days. Females often leave the pride briefly to give birth in concealed thickets, delivering 1 to 4 cubs. For the first 6 weeks, cubs rely entirely on maternal milk. Afterward, they are brought back to the pride, where they begin learning observation, stalking, and coordination skills. Though lions can absorb water indirectly from fresh meat, Hwange's lions still cluster near permanent water sources throughout the extended dry season from April to October. Lions are not only apex predators, but also indicators of Hwange's ecosystem health. When lion numbers remain stable, the savanna's energy cycle functions effectively. Healthy prey animals thrive, weaker individuals are removed, and vegetation has time to recover after the rains. Therefore, protecting habitat for this large cat also means preserving the ecological structure of Zimbabwe's savanna. Across the arid savanna near main camp, spotted hyenas are a constant presence in the predator ecosystem. After each lion hunt, their distinct laugh echoes like a signal to the clan. For hyenas, timing is the key, not brute strength. Although often labeled as scavengers, in reality, 60 to 70% of the spotted hyena's diet comes from successful hunts. They are mainly active during early morning and daylight hours, taking advantage of prey fatigue. Spotted hyenas are prominent members of the Hyenidae family, entirely separate from modern dogs and cats. An adult can reach a length of up to 6 feet and weigh over 175 pounds. Their bodies are built for endurance, not for explosive speed. Their front legs are longer than their hind legs, creating a sloping gait that is stable and efficient. Their hearts are proportionally large, relative to body size, allowing them to maintain high speeds over long distances without exhaustion. Spotted hyenas have extremely powerful jaws, with a bite force of up to 758 newtons per square centimeter. They can crush wildebeest leg bones, something even leopards struggle to do. Spotted hyenas are not solitary. They live in clans that can include up to 70 individuals. This is a matriarchal society where females dominate, being larger, stronger, and having priority access to food. Each clan controls a wide territory, usually covering grasslands and water points. They use anal gland secretions to mark boundaries and communicate through a range of sounds, including hisses, growls, whoops, and laughs. These sounds are not random. They form a complex signaling system for identification and internal communication. At main camp, spotted hyenas often appear near waterholes where wildebeest, zebra, and kudu gather. Sometimes stalkers, sometimes hunters, they adapt flexibly depending on opportunity. Their hunting strategy is not solitary. Groups take turns chasing prey, gradually exhausting it before the full clan closes in. Unlike the rigid feeding order seen in lion prides, hyenas often allow cubs to feed first, demonstrating a high level of social cooperation. They are not the strongest nor the fastest species, but spotted hyenas are clear examples of adaptive success. In harsh ecosystems like Hwange, flexibility and coordinated strategy have made this species one of the most persistent survivors. along the edge of low grass near main camp. Quick movements signal the presence of impalas, one of Africa's fastest and most agile antelope species. With slender bodies and long, sinewy legs, impalas form large herds ranging from dozens to hundreds of individuals to reduce the risk of predator attacks. During the breeding season, dominant males control female groups, patrolling constantly to repel rivals. Each individual maintains social bonds through aloe grooming, using their teeth to gently clean one another's fur. This behavior reduces stress, removes parasites, and reinforces internal hierarchy. Speed is their most important defense. Impalas can accelerate to 50 miles per hour and leap over 33 feet in length, jumping up to 10 feet high, enough to clear slopes, thorn bushes, or escape rearward ambushes. When danger approaches, the herd fans out and then turns sharply, confusing the predator's orientation. However, Hwange's savanna holds formidable predators. Cheetahs, the fastest land mammals, exploit even small missteps by impalas. Cheetahs have bodies about 5 feet long, with long legs and broad chests. They can reach 60 miles per hour in under 3 seconds. Their top speed can hit 68 miles per hour, but cannot be sustained beyond 30 seconds due to overheating risks. Semi-retractable claws increase ground grip, while long tails function like rudders, allowing fast directional shifts across uneven terrain. When the distance narrows to 200 to 330 feet, the final sprint begins. Each stride covers nearly 23 feet, closing in quickly. If the impala turns sharply and leaps high, it may escape. If not, the chase usually ends within seconds. The cheetah's greatest disadvantage comes after the takedown. Lions or spotted hyenas may appear to steal the kill using superior strength. As a result, cheetahs choose open terrain in midday hours, when other predators are less active, to minimize confrontations. For impalas, speed alone is not enough. They also rely on shared vigilance. Each individual frequently raises its head, scanning with nearly 300-degree vision. At the first unusual sign, the entire herd springs up from the grass, turning into dozens of unpredictable trajectories. The combination of group behavior, fast neural reflexes, and a body built for sprinting has allowed impalas to survive thousands of generations under relentless predator pressure in Hwange. In this hot and harsh environment, they exemplify natural selection. Only the most perfectly adapted strategies persist. Across barren stretches of African grassland, a raptor that does not kill but cleans up silently holds the ecosystem in balance. This is the whiteback vulture, one of the most efficient scavengers on the continent. With wingspans reaching 7.5 feet, they can glide for hours without flapping, using thermal currents rising from the ground. Their featherless heads and necks limit bacterial buildup after contact with decaying flesh. Bright white feathers on the back and neck contrast with dark faces and sharp eyes. An evolved design that enables safe access to soft tissue inside carcasses without spreading pathogens. Whiteback vultures have extremely sharp vision, spotting carcasses from hundreds of feet in the air. They travel dozens of miles daily, mostly by soaring, in search of food. When one individual begins to descend, a familiar phenomenon follows. Others quickly converge, forming a vulture spiral in the sky. This acts as a critical signal to all scavengers in the area. In death zones like main camp, where hoofed species such as wildebeest, zebra, and buffalo often collapse during drought, whiteback vultures serve as the first biological response unit. They cannot tear through thick hide like hyenas, but they are well suited to access internal organs. They rapidly consume the soft abdomen, preventing bacterial growth and contamination of soil and water. In food chains, they are the final defense line against disease from decaying carcasses. Whiteback vultures nest in tall trees near water sources, live in loose colonies, and often return to the same nesting sites year after year. Each year, they lay only one egg, with incubation lasting over 7 weeks. They are birds that do not kill, but keep death from becoming a source of epidemic. Their disappearance would not just mean losing a vulture, it would mean losing the Savannah's final biological shield. Located within the main camp area of Hwange National Park, Nyamandhlovu Pan spans over 425 square miles and is considered the most critical gathering point during the dry season. At this site, 14 artificial waterholes operate year-round, supplying water to tens of thousands of wild animals when natural sources dry up. Under extreme arid conditions, water becomes the key to survival. Deep drilled boreholes at Nyamandhlovu use both diesel and solar energy to pump water to the surface, keeping the waterholes full regardless of weather. This water not only sustains African elephants, buffalo, and large antelope, but also supports wild birds and other species that depend on surface water. Hwange currently holds the largest elephant population in Zimbabwe, with an estimated 30,000 to 40,000 individuals. Nyamandhlovu is one of the few areas capable of providing enough water for herds during prolonged scarcity. presence of elephants helps maintain the biological rhythm of the ecosystem. They dig, clear clogged holes, and inadvertently create access for other species to drink. Though less conspicuous than elephants, hippos play a distinct role in the ecological structure of the pan. Adult males can reach lengths up to 16 feet and weigh over 9,900 pounds, making them the third largest land mammals in Africa after elephants and white rhinos. In water, their massive weight is supported, allowing agile movement via short legs and webbed toes. Eyes, ears, and nostrils are positioned on top of the head, enabling them to see and breathe while submerged. During the day, hippos spend most of their time submerged to prevent dehydration and protect against ultraviolet radiation. Their skin is thick, nearly hairless, and vulnerable to prolonged sun exposure. To protect this sensitive surface, hippos secrete a pinkish fluid, commonly referred to as blood sweat. This substance has antibacterial, UV protective, and moisturizing properties that help prevent infection from wounds caused by contact or territorial disputes. Hippos live in groups, usually 10 to 20 individuals, called a bloat. A dominant male controls access to the group, the water, and mating rights. Displaced males often live alone or gather near smaller waterholes. When conflict arises, hippos can open their jaws up to 180 degrees, revealing canine teeth that can reach 20 inches, strong enough to pierce a crocodile's hide. Nyamandhlovu Pan is not just a water source, it is a survival center in the dry season, where every drop sustains an entire ecosystem. Its existence shows that, in a harsh landscape, timely human intervention through artificial waterholes can be the deciding factor in preserving true wilderness. Along the water's edge at Nyamandhlovu Pan, where cracked soil and rising heat shimmer, black and white stripes appear steadily each morning and late afternoon. These are Burchell's zebras, the flagship grazers of Hwange Savannah in Zimbabwe. Each individual has a unique stripe pattern, like a human fingerprint. Stripes run vertically from the neck to the shoulders, shift to horizontal at the flanks, and sometimes include faint brown shadow stripes. A subspecies trait that distinguishes them from other zebras. At Nyamandhlovu, zebras live in harems, small groups led by a dominant male, with several adult females and their young. Social bonds within the group are maintained by mutual nibbling using teeth, removing parasites and reinforcing social order. This behavior enables the group to function effectively without vocal calls or complex signals. Compared to other grazers like buffalo or antelope, zebras do not ruminate. Instead, their simple digestive system allows them to process dry, coarse, low-nutrient grasses left behind during the dry season. This trait helps them survive when others must migrate farther. In return, their limited digestive efficiency forces them to eat longer and drink more frequently. This reliance on water makes them easy targets for lions, hyenas, and African wild dogs, predators that ambush near waterholes during the day. What seems like a simple act of drinking becomes the most vulnerable moment. As they lower their heads, field of vision narrows and reaction time slows. Zebras therefore often drink during quieter hours, early morning or late afternoon, when temperatures drop and predator pressure is lower. They approach water in a wide formation. Some individuals stand guard, ears upright, eyes scanning, while others drink quickly and retreat. Burchell's zebras move opportunistically rather than along fixed routes. They do not rely on specific grazing zones, instead adjusting foraging patterns based on vegetation and water availability. In the dry season, as green grass dwindles, they may walk dozens of miles per day in search of suitable forage. Before the dust from the zebra herd settles, the ground begins to tremble under the weight of a new formation. African buffalo, also known as Cape buffalo, appear with muscular builds and a steady gait. Like biological tanks crossing Zimbabwe's grasslands. Size is their first layer of defense. Adult males stand up to 5 feet at the shoulder and can weigh between 1,650 and 2,000 pounds. Females are lighter but equally resilient. On their thick skulls, the horn bases fuse into a solid structure called the boss. The horns curve outward, reaching up to 3.3 feet in length, serving as weapons for goring, ramming, and locking opponents. Herd structure is the second line of defense. Each herd contains from several dozen to over 1,000 individuals. Their layout is intentional. Calves and females stay in the center. The outer ring consists of heavy adult males, a mobile shield when approaching water holes or crossing forest edges. Their physical strength is most evident during encounters with lions. A lone buffalo may be brought down, but the herd quickly counterattacks, charging predators until they retreat. Newborn calves move slowly and are primary targets for lions, leopards, and wild dogs. Old buffalo, especially males pushed out of the herd, lose the herd shield and suffer the highest mortality during the dry season. Water dependence is their second vulnerability. Buffalo must drink every 24 hours and are therefore tied to water sources. At Nyamandhlovu, they gather in tight formations when drinking. A few keep heads raised while others drink quickly and retreat. Their diverse diet helps them survive drought. Like domestic cattle, they ruminate. Buffalo tracks still line the sandy bank when a broader set of impressions begins to cover them. African elephants, the largest land mammals, step onto the grass with a steady pace, asserting space through their sheer weight. Size is their first passport. Adult males stand 10 to 11 feet at the shoulder and weigh between 11,500 and 15,400 pounds. Females are smaller but still outweigh most herbivores. Their massive ears flap slowly like natural fans, dissipating heat through dense blood vessels underneath. Tusks, modified incisors, social structure is matriarchal. Each herd consists of related females and their young. The oldest female, often over 40 years old, decides the route, resting periods, and responds to threats. The matriarch's long-term memory maps water sources, fruiting areas, and escape routes. When she is lost, the herd loses its data bank, increasing the risk of becoming lost or encountering predators. Elephants communicate through low-frequency infrasound that travels miles. These sounds reach distant herds within seconds, delivering messages like, "We are here," "Water is this way," or "Poacher alert." In Hwange, elephant herds 3 miles apart have been recorded adjusting direction simultaneously. Evidence of an unseen communication network. During the dry season, Nyamandhlovu Pan is a key water source. Elephants dig into dry holes, open underground channels, and indirectly provide water for antelope, birds, and mongooses. But their massive water demand, up to 53 gallons per elephant per day, strips nearby saplings, and expands open grass patches. Too many individuals can push the vegetation into decline. Slow reproduction is their second weakness. Gestation lasts 22 months, with 4-year intervals between births. A poaching event can take decades to recover from. Protecting elephants means more than saving a single species. It safeguards the biological rhythm of the entire savanna. Where each heavy footprint draws the map of water, vegetation, and ecological order. Above the dry, dusty grass, a tall body rises above the vegetation layer. The Angolan giraffe, a distinct subspecies in southern Africa, is easily recognized by its towering height. An average height of 14.7 to 18 feet allows it to observe the entire grassland from above. This is a strategic advantage. A wide field of vision enables early predator detection earlier than most other herbivores. Its primary diet consists of high tree leaves, especially from Combretum and Terminalia species, which contain high tannin levels, bitter and difficult to digest. However, its multi-chambered stomach and specialized gut microbiota allow it to break down tannins and absorb nutrients that few other species can utilize. Its tongue, up to 18 inches long, is flexible and coated in mucus, allowing it to maneuver through sharp thorns and grasp individual leaves precisely. This is one of the most efficient foraging tools among hoofed mammals. During the dry season, as vegetation thins, it expands its feeding range up to 230 square miles. It often selects woodland edges, places with enough shade to avoid heat, but without obstructing visibility. Unlike many large mammals, giraffes sleep very little, less than 4.5 hours per day. Most of the time, they sleep standing. They only lie down when the area is completely secure, usually in the middle of a group or near low shrubs. This behavior helps reduce the risk of ambush during rest. However, it can lead to exhaustion if proper resting environments are unavailable, especially during extended movement in dry seasons. Males have small bony protrusions on their heads called ossicones, which differ from females by having exposed hairless surfaces. They use ossicones during necking contests. Two males face each other, swinging their necks to strike and establish dominance. The contests are non-lethal but may force the losing individual to leave the group. Giraffes usually move in loose, small groups with less structure than buffalo or elephants. They rely on individual alertness and group visibility to respond to danger. Despite their large size, they are not well defended when attacked at close range, especially by lions. A front leg kick can cause serious injury to a predator. In Hwange, where water sources are scarce and grass is sparse, giraffes act as living lookout towers for other species. From a distance, their sudden movements can signal warning to zebra herds, antelope, or even buffalo. They do not emit loud sounds, show aggression, or run fast. But their height, non-competitive diet, and silent adaptability allow them to survive in the harsh savannah, where every footprint carries risk. Hwange is a biological machine in miniature. From the pumped water holes at main camp to the granite slopes of Sinematella, every population, elephants, lions, vultures, rhinos, fits together like gears. Each species handles a phase: clearing vegetation, controlling prey, removing carcasses, or replenishing soil nutrients. The park's strength lies in this structure. Remove one link, and the entire cycle begins to falter. Its vulnerability is exposed as climate change accelerates. In 2024, rainfall totaled just 14 inches, half the average. In the first 3 months of the dry season alone, 160 elephants, mostly calves and older individuals, died of thirst. Lions in the Northwest now number only 737, a 15% drop from 2010. Climate instability, disrupted migration corridors, and poaching are pushing both carnivore and hoofed animal populations into decline. Rangers protect the land. International organizations provide funding. But it is the voices of visitors that spread the message. Every story of elephants moving silently through red dust, or vultures circling over antelope remains, is a reminder. Nature persists only when humans value the role of each species, from apex predators to the final scavengers. It begins with the choice of each viewer, each storyteller, each person who returns to Hwange and understands. Whether this life cycle continues or collapses will reflect the future of every dry ecosystem on Earth.